Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out how you can win one of the knobs that was made during this video. Oh hey, what's happening there YouTube? It's Brian House here for Housework, and today we are going to be taking a look at something that's been bothering me for quite some time. The design and function of the common knob. This is something that you probably touch on a regular basis. Knobs, buttons, switches. We don't seem to pay a ton of attention to how they actually are designed and how they function. I took a deep dive into knob design, and I know this sounds super granular and weird, but I have purchased a whole bunch of these over the last year with the Revolution project and its success. There's 3 of these particular knobs on the Revolution. I just have to buy a whole bunch of them, and since the pandemic, their availability is really scarce. So come with me, let's take a deep dive into the design, and then let's set some parameters for how we want to actually fabricate some of these knobs. The reality of it is I really don't like the way that these things look, and since they're so scarce, I truly believe that we can design something better and we can fabricate them right here in the workshop and studio, and then hopefully at some point down the road we could have these manufactured and have them be a permanent part of the Revolution 2x72 belt grinder project. What I've discovered is I rarely actually use 4 fingers when I turn these things. I usually use 3 like this, and I'm turning left to right or whatever, so that kind of gives me an indicator that I don't need all 4 prongs. I've been messing around a lot with angles, and the 2 angles that I've really fallen in love with for this particular design is 60 degrees and 120 degrees. And when I think about those 2 degrees and the relationships they have, they're very complementary. Essentially, it's like this and like that, right? And then we have a another, let's see, version of it that comes out like that. This is our 120. And this is our 60. Hold on. That's not quite there. It should be more like this and down this way, and then the 60 degrees much more of an acute angle. And this is the 120, like that, and then like this, and like that, and then another one, a repeatable, hopefully repeatable angles. Acute angle like that. That eventually meets up with this guy. You got 120 there, and 120 there. You get the idea, all right? And the way I see it is your fingers will rest in these little slots here, right? You got 3 fingers. It's say like this. And they'll rest down in there. Oh no. Anyway, you get the point. All right, so I cut out a bunch of these out of different thicknesses. This one is 3/8, and then I cut some out of 1/4 inch. I like both. I just think that the 3/8 looks better and feels better in the hand. It's nice and heavy. And so, you know, it's probably going to, the bigger knobs I think are going to all be cut out of 3/8. I can't really justify the difference. It really doesn't make a lot of sense to go smaller when you know you get a little bit more grip surface here, and it does feel really cool in the hand. Like it's just, I know this looks ugly right now. We're going to clean that up in a minute, but I mean when you got it in your hand and you go to turn it, if you put it on there correctly for tightening, which is like this, you'll be able to, you know, put your fingers in those slots and turn and push in the right direction. So yeah, what we're also going to do is grab some of this all thread. This is what we're going to use to actually make the threaded portion of it. I'm not going to make it on a lathe. It makes no sense when you can just cut this down and insert it and then weld it in place. So let's clean this up and actually fabricate the dang thing. The tool we're going to use to clean this up is the Revolution 2x72 belt grinder. It is by far my favorite tool in the entire shop. If you're not familiar with this project, I'll put a link up in the corner and down in the description so you can follow along with the project. It's essentially a 2x72 belt grinder that we developed right here on YouTube, and with your help, we were able to actually bring it to manufacture, and now I actually do that for a living. So I run a company called House Made Industrial, and we sell kits for the Revolution grinder. You can check all that out on my website over at housemade.us. We're going to use a high-end ceramic belt from Empire Abrasives. These are great. Empire sponsors my channel. If you use the discount code HOUSEWORK, you get 10% off your first order. All right, so the next step is we're going to add the all thread, and in this case we're going to not allow it to sit right flush. We want it a little bit down below so the weld has something to grab onto. We also want to make sure that when we do it, that we do it straight. So we just want to take a square and make sure everything looks good there. Just got finished grinding that knob and there's all this metal dust on the floor. I don't know if you saw the video I made before, if not, about the solo cup cleanup trick. But yeah, let's get this cleaned up. All right, here's where we're at with this thing. Little divot right in the middle there, not too big of a deal. I'm going to go ahead and leave it. Now at this point, I like to take a random orbital sander and just smooth everything down around the edges and give it kind of a nice cool finish. All right, I gave it kind of a cool rough finish there. Just did some 60 grit pads, took the edges off, made it nice and soft. And I'm thinking we're getting close. Maybe we'll laser etch something into this and call it done. All right, let's give this thing a test run. Oh yeah, see, I like that. I like that I can put my finger in that little notch and spin, and then if I want to go backwards, it's easy, it just goes. Oh yeah, just cool. And it's cool looking too. I mean, that's the thing. Form and function, we have achieved that here. Nice and tight, you can get your thumb, see, you can just dig your thumb right in there, and as you're digging your thumb in, you got your index finger just nice and nestled in there like a trigger. I love it. Yes, that is a success. Yes. Now, if you'd like to win one of these, all you have to do is like the video and leave a comment down below, and I'll use one of those weird comment picker things and pluck somebody out of the crowd, and at no cost to you, I will mail you one of these knobs, one of the actual ones that I made right here in this video. So listen, if you got something out of today's video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you click that little bell, you get a notification every time I upload something to YouTube. There's many ways to support my channel, and by far the best way is to go to housemade.us and buy the pieces, parts, and plans, the Revolution 2x72 belt grinder project. There's Patreon, there's Buy Me a Coffee. You can listen to the Work For It podcast. Listen to me and Ben Butler talk about business in the workshop. All of those are great ways to support everything I have going on right here in my workshop and studio. Listen, guys, it was awesome hanging out with you in my workshop. I hope to see you on the next video. My name is Brian House, and this has been Housework.